and model discussion. The panel discussion. Hello, dear participants. I represent a state institution, Taras Shevchenko National University, and state universities will never disappear, and to have such ministers and vice prime ministers, we need philosophy, history of culture, social science, because to develop growth, we also need citizens who have clear understanding of what they need to do. State is a service, and state education is a part of this service. My name is Natalia Krivda, and I would like to invite my great colleagues, panel discussion participants, Alexander Kosovan, founder of MacPo and founder of Venture Foundation and co-founder of the ICT United. Thank you, Alexander. Atam Borodatyuk, founder and CEO of NetBit Group. Thank you. Alexei Nishchek, Education Operations Director at Genesis. He is going to speak online. We can see you, perfect. And Anna Adam from Data Group Voya. Thank you, Ms. Anna. We have 15 minutes. So we have 50 minutes, and we agreed that we're going to have 2 rounds of questions. The first round of questions will be to everyone, and it's going to be about the transformation of education. What are the needs, perspectives, crises, dangers of this transformation? We got some inspiration from the speech of the Vice Prime Minister. And you're going to have 8 minutes, all right, to speak about your vision of the transformation of the education. How is it related to business? What you deem necessary to do within the transformation of the education. The second round of questions will be related to the dreams, what dreams you have. Please, you can start. Thank you for the question. I was really impressed by the speech of the Prime Minister. For many years, we've been supporting this direction of AI and development of education. There are many things to do. I think not only the state has to provide the tools, the market has to be free to get better. As to the current education, from the point of view of business, every university, every educational institution has to answer one key question: who's your client? And I think the answer to this question will have an impact on the quality of graduates, on the quality of education for students. If the client is parents, you might create some rankings, filling some forms and papers. If your client is the state, you will get thousands of students, many unnecessary specializations, and many things that do not work in the world. If your client is the student, it means you're going to create great conditions, monetization, but you also need to answer the question, what's next? And I think the client has to be business, because business generates future economy, the future of the country, and you need to discuss with the business environment what's necessary for it to flourish in the country. So I think every educational institution has to answer this key question before they launch any project. Who is our client? Another thing, we need to follow the trends, because the world is changing exponentially, and a century ago, the changes could be implemented during 10 or 20 years. Whether today it might take 6 months and no longer to change or cancel a program. We all understand that some things are already outdated, and we need to understand some basics, but we need to have a new approach to new needs. Thank you. It took only 3 minutes, so we are going to have another round of questions, please. I hope 3 minutes will be enough for me too. So there is a theory of Yahoo Goldratt, the theory of limitations, and you need to choose one thing. And I did a survey for 25 CEOs. And I asked the question, what has to be changed in the education system? So we wrote an article. There are many great points there. And I would like to share another idea. Basically, Sasha already voiced it, but I'm going to reshape it. So we have first point. It's when a person comes to a university and we proof check all the information, and we have data that in 2020 the average sum of money that the state pays for students is 30,000 hryvnias. Most probably this sum will change. It depends on many indicators, but actually this system, when money follows the student, already works. But what's the problem? This first point is when students choose institutions. The next point is what actually makes sense. It's when the graduates go to work. And we need to have a line between these two points. And we currently don't have this line because there is no motivation system. If you want someone to do something useful, you need to use the pattern from digital marketing. You need to assess the indicators like we do in Google, and we need to look at the actions customers do. We need to follow the same system in educational area. We need make these thousands of money work, and we need these universities to create specialists in the most demanded areas. I think we are going to keep working in this direction because while getting ready to the speech, I already got a clearer vision, and we need all the activities of universities to be directed at the employment of the specialists. It will change everything. And for example, we employ 50 people per month, and we never look at the diploma. We need to teach people all over again. We also released an AI course, and it became viral just in one day. Thousands of people follow this course. We developed it for our own employees, but we made it public at some point. So basically, businesses shape the educational system on their own. It's not right, and we need to think about this B point, the final point. That's everything I have to say. Thank you. Thank you. I take notes. How many minutes? 4 minutes. Brilliant. Miss Anna. Thank you. As an HI director, I can say that educational institutions teach specialists. So people get a specialization, a diploma, and who do we employ? We employ our workers, our employees who need to achieve certain goals. However, the posts, the positions, the vacancies we open do not correlate with the specializations at universities. And some competencies we require among employees are not developed at one faculty. And there is no program to satisfy our need. And we need to change this mechanism, how we develop new profiles of new specialists, because those who graduate need to understand it's the reality. So it's very important to have the cooperation with the educational institutions, because the profile of my post can be described 3 pages. Sorry for my accent. And I cannot find people who would correspond to this description. And we also face another problem. For people to get a diploma, they need to follow all the stages of the preparation of the specialists, but it's not always necessary. We cannot wait for a specialist for 5 or 6 years. And another thing, D&I is a very popular topic today. We often say that women have to start working at the previously male positions, but there are no conditions for that. And it's another task for the business environment, for the educational institutions, how to create opportunities for women to occupy these posts. It's not only a matter of education, it's more than a matter of education or a place of work. Thank you. Thank you. 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Can Alexei hear us? Thank you for being with us. The floor is yours, please. Yes, I can hear you perfectly well. You have 25 minutes. No, we're going to have another round of questions. Perfect. So I'm going to argue with every speaker we could just hear. First of all, I would like to view universities as partners, not as clients, because students are the clients, because they are using the services that universities provide. They come to learn, they pay money for that. So students are clients of the universities, and of course I agree that one of the possible tracks is employment, but why do we forget about the science track, the scientific track, very popular around the world? And when we speak about Ukraine, we replace it with the employment track. We need to work to develop great scientific initiatives, and business in partnership with universities can make it true. And on one of the last slides of Mr. Fedorov, we could see how business can cooperate with the state, with state universities. So Genesis company, our team is already implementing 5 of these 7 points. And I realize we are partners for the universities and we need to jointly develop curriculum that will allow students to choose later. Either they're going to work in a great company or they're going in academia to fulfill their potential there, and it will be useful for business too to cooperate with R&D centers. The business will provide their own requests, and universities together with students will try to achieve the set standards. Unfortunately, I could not be physically with you today. I could not raise your hands in the beginning, but I would say that we currently have a transformation of the education. I think that in 5 years, everything will be great with the education in Ukraine because our team of 30 plus people in Genesis cooperates with the Ministry of Science and Education, with the Ministry of Digital Transformation, and we want these transformations to happen. And I really share what Mikhailo said in the beginning. We developed the all Ukrainian courses together with the Ministry of Science Education, Ministry of Digital Transformation, Horizon Capital, EDIRA, and 20,000 students underwent this course training, as well as many thousands of teachers. And I can see hundreds of motivated educators who want to learn new things. Of course, we have challenges. There are many obstacles, lack of funding. We need bigger salaries. I completely agree with that. But we have hundreds and even thousands of people who are really motivated to change something. We can achieve the goals. And if we are pessimists saying that universities don't provide specialists, we won't go far. And I understand that all of the team members in Genesis have higher education or they are still getting a degree, and they graduated from great educational institutions. And we realize that schools and universities provide the foundations. And I really suggest we look at top managers without higher education. Let's answer the question whether they show an example of great decision making if they didn't follow the specialized courses in economics or maths. So I'm rather optimistic because I can see many universities eager to change something. I can see hundreds of teachers who want to change something, as well as businesses. We are one of such businesses. We truly try to contribute a lot into cooperation with universities and with the state. We do it to have great specialists. At the same time, we are not looking for for specialists with very narrow specialization. All of the 30 CEOs graduated from higher educational institutions, and these are the best universities of Ukraine, of the world. And only having this kind of education, they can show great results. We need philosophy, we need history of civilization, of language to do great things. Only then we can create great products. We also have great contributions from other partners who provide specialists of narrow specialization, narrow profile, and we closely cooperate with the Ministry of Digital Transformation. We know that there are professional technical institutions that provide top specialists, and university give us great top managers.
So I'm a believer in development of education, but we have to work a lot on that. So each of us has to invest our resources into education. Thank you. Thanks a lot. The discussion is quite lively, and I would like to offer my own intervention. Maybe the customers for university are both students and the state and the businesses. But my professional point of view, and I'm a philosopher, I think the customers of society is customers of education is society. Society can make different needs, tasks, and universal nature of university is that it brings up the mindset, the thinking mindset, how to solve problems. Helicopter view. Thank you so much, and I get back to you. You'll have the. You want to either continue discussion or respond to Alexei? Alexander, starting with you. You said that customers for education are businesses, or should be business. So I have a question to you, not a provocation, but how you as businesses are ready to cooperate? What do you do? What are you ready to do? What are you going to do? And other than just general stuff, what else do you want to share as a message? Maybe something specific. I will follow up on what I said before. Customers are different, and their society is very unhomogeneous, so it shouldn't be the state that regulates. I think the state should be present much less in the society. No, it has to. No, I don't say it's not. It should be absent, but not that much. I think the state has much more leverage on society and is mostly standing in the way of development rather than stimulating it. So I think it's important to think how education is funded. And in this case, we have private universities. There are state-owned universities. The state has to be acting as a temporary grantor or sponsor, but it's not for the. It's not its daily job. It's not forever. It should be, because it corrupts. It undermines the foundations of economic law. I think we need to find other methods how to fund education. If we look at the Western education, there was a patent law, very popular back then. And a lot of research works ended in universities having a share in patents that they registered together with business and inventors. And it became a financial instrument to generate funds for research. Now the patents don't work the way they worked before, but still there are new things emerging. Funding of startups. Maybe the institutes are the future. For startups in Ukraine, the institutes or high schools can be fundamental engines for finding quick solutions, quick starting solutions. So as a result, they can own a small share of those startups. And in some 5 to 10 years, the percentage of the startups, maybe 2 or 5% will be successful, and those 2 to 5 successful percent can fund particular academia. So universities have to be co-owners, right? They have to have a shares in new startups. Yeah, sure. So thanks a lot. I hope you somebody is keeping track of our genial ideas. Just a couple of words as businesses. What we do as businesses. First of all businesses are on different levels of development, stages of development. The younger the business, the less they have resources in order to work with institutions, with academia, with juniors, with junior scientists. So the bigger the business, the more they have resources for experimental products, including R&D. We as a company, we worked with interns. Now for the first time, we started working as R&D with different institutes. We had several programs with MIT, non-Ukrainian MIT, but American MIT, and also with Lviv Catholic University, where we asked research specialists in order to work on business tasks that we can use in the future. And this is an example what we're doing as businesses. Of course, we as businesses, we are interested in providing future to our people. We're investing a lot in education, different projects. So I support a lot of Mr. Fedorov's idea to create an application, not only application, but an approach in funding of education. I think we will be joining this effort in order to help run this program on a systemic global level. Thank you. We see a lot of promise in this. Another important thing is that Alexander, in my paradigm, we say that he cares for human capital. He treats people not as a resource, but as a capital. Artem, you disagreed with something. How many minutes did I have? Do you have 2 minutes? Can I use 4 minutes? Right. So, first of all, what Alexei said, he said he doesn't agree, but I would agree in his disagreement. So there's one nuance. What Alexei is building and what we also started building, and it only started now, literally, we just hired Mikhail Serebrov. Well, hopefully he'll be on the panel discussion here. Is a person who did a lot of stuff in Odessa with academia. Maybe similar model to Genesis, because it's a great model. And when I realized what they are doing, I thought they stole my idea. Turns out not. So you stole their idea? No. I thought because I described the same thing 5 years ago, but I didn't share the document, so I know for sure they didn't. So cooperating with universities is training the trainers, creating courses, very applied sciences, and we're doing that not in-house but system-wide. So Otis says a lot of the right things, but for me it's a romantic attitude. If we're talking about solution to a problem, I still maintain my opinion that there's great that there's science is employment. Students want to learn something, so we add this point B into the system and add some more criteria. But if we support this revolutionary thing to get the money follow the end point in conversion in the funnel, everything will turn upside down. What's it, the Ukrainian to turn something upside down? That's how. So romantics. I quite agree with what Alexei is doing. I thank Genesis for what they're doing, and we won't be overreaching to where they are. We will move to other universities, other departments, specialties, because they are doing quite a lot for labor market. But the mindset that I've heard is too romantic for me, because while we were doing interviews with people, we realized what kind of hell is happening in academia. I'll make you a couple examples. When a person who's not a rector but pro-rector, that the region didn't give her money for that, and so she had to cut all the teachers from payroll. And they were building this academy for many years. So she goes on, and it was a shocking case. So they're doing some documents, some PR campaign, landing. She started doing Instagram. She never done that before. $200 per month with almost zero budget. She sells their own courses and curricula in such a content that it's record-breaking in terms of revenues, and it's a state-owned organization. It's a great story. But why don't other academia doing that? I looked into their promo materials because I don't trust them. I looked into their landing pages. It was very badly made. I've never seen such a bad publicity. But he says we don't have competition, and it was just one case. Why don't you, those directors, the possibility to do it from the get-go? This is entrepreneurship. That particular teacher had this. So do I still have 4 minutes? Just one case. One more case, and there were a lot of similar when there were directors, but the main people they take and when the money ends, in order to do the renovation in their lecture rooms, they rent out some of their facilities, do the repairs there. They rent it out to businesses, receive revenues to pay for salaries to teachers who would rather go, and makes the renovations in the lecture halls. So, and in order to do that, you have to go through 7 circles of hell, because I know the public service who are standing in the way most. So everything's going to be all right. I think there are some great people like Mikhail Fedorov, like Alexei, like Sasha, like many other people. We will solve this because that's the way Ukrainians are. But in order to be simpler, let's not avoid the problems or avoid seeing the problems, but let's try and really solve them. Thanks a lot. That's a valuable description. Those directors who shared some cases to Artem, they were now probably sweating cold sweat because they're probably borderline illegal. No. It's all is fictional. Everything I told about is fictional. I just it was a wild guess. The one thing, economic freedom. That's what the second panel will be talking about it. Anna. So I want to touch on the topic of students and teachers because it's a very important thing. Because the idea is that the university was building only top managers. That's far from reality. That's not. They are building professionals, specialists in a certain area. And any company, if it's an advanced company, there are 2 vectors for developing their staff: technical experts, a pool of technical experts. They're tech gurus in their field, in their function, and also line reserve. So those who want to be managers, they grow and eventually might become top managers. So those who make a career in technical area, they make even more money than the top managers, because top managers are just distributing resources. They organize the system, infrastructure. Managers, line managers, but only top manager has certain technical expertise and management expertise combined. But why do we invest why do we tell students that they absolutely have to become top managers? Because it makes really bad service, a disservice to it. And I know how many such broken mindsets, like the student comes to me 15 years old, 20 years old. He says, I want to be top manager. Well, maybe in 20 years, but not in 5, not in 1 year. Don't raise these expectations so high. So either technical job or management. Secondly, it's very important that we pay too much attention to students and too little attention to those who build those students, the teachers. For businesses, the most important is to invest into core staff, core teaching staff, their methodology, their programs, how they create those curricula. How do they assess the quality of those training programs? Does it really match the modern trends and expectations from the labor market? And that's a very important thing. And there are too many international organizations who want to cooperate with us, with high schools, with establishments of higher education, because they're ready to share with us their methodology, share their practical skills, but they have not enough capacity. And businesses can be really good partners to help organize this projects of methodologies development. Yeah, that's one more facet of the general picture. I would just say that we are within the business school. I also represent business school. So maybe a business school is one of the ways to build not only top managers, but actual leaders. We're all looking for leaders. We are all looking for professional and management leadership. So thanks a lot, Alexei. Right here. So you have your 4 minutes, and then we finally wrap up with discussion. Can you repeat the question, please? If you don't want to respond to anyone in particular, we're just talking how businesses should invest in technical education. But you mentioned that already. So what else, if anything, you'd like to share? I will add some of my points because I partly agree with my colleagues, but partly I would rather reiterate what I said. Universities don't build top managers. They build the foundation that allows to become a top manager. And it's important because the foundation, to my subjective opinion, you start building it in school. And the university then provides a great boost to this. Because my own personal paradigm is that university doesn't only provide us training, and there are not only staff and teachers and administration who play a role and an important. University gives us a community of people where the universities host great communities. I was training my classmate was a person who won prize number 8 in international programming Olympics out of all school children in his time, and I could talk to him, and that's what the university gave me, because the faculty of cybernetics in Shevchenko University united those people between themselves. So that's why universities are a place as a foundation that we get. The foundation which gives us some understanding. How do we live? How do we deal with difficult situations? Because it gives us community, it gives us challenges to learn by. And when they cooperate with businesses, such universities, and there are many such administrations and teachers, when they cooperate with businesses, that's where they get these practical cases, practical advice and solutions to certain projects, etc., that will enable them as leaders. Like all Ukrainian training courses that we have, I'll just give you a little bit of background. We're creating content for teachers that are contemporary teachers that are no standard state-of-the-art trends in product-based IT. We don't train MIT teachers, but they may have only theoretical background and full-time job. So we give them practical environment for them to actually teach others. We give them this practical skill set. So after our course, the students should outline a startup model using Link Atlas. So, and that's what they have to do as a skill. So about 15,000 students have already graduated this course. I see there's Andrei Zaykin in your audience who represents Incubator. So they also cooperate with universities, and they see hundreds of teachers dozens of thousands of students who attend those, and they are creating startups in that university environment. And those are the technologies and skills that later allow those students to be great specialists and to be great leaders, as well as become top managers later. They will not become top managers right after they graduate. Then they create their own startup and become CEOs in that startup. So there's not much of a challenge in securing funding. There's not enough teachers. There's not enough motivation. Out of my classmates who graduated cybernetics department, I know 2 of them who actually teach. My 2 classmates out of 200 who stayed in the universities to keep teaching. I don't know any other person of my classmates who would be teachers in schools. So we need funding to get them there, so that great people would like to go to schools and universities to go work there. We have many challenges in that regard, but we have to believe that we are capable of doing something, not just keep saying that it will fail and only fail. So I'm very optimistic always, because if I don't have faith in that, it's one of our global values, is believing in it, in your cause, dreaming and implementing stuff, because we're doing unique things. So we believe that education will be great, and we invest 120% in this. Thanks a lot. That's why the application will be called Miriam. Thank you, Alexei. We only have 9 minutes. I would please ask everybody. It was pre-planned. It's not out of nowhere. So use this minute to describe your dream and values in terms of education, how you see it, your dream. So let's start from me. There are 3 things that I'm dreaming about. First, to maximize individual tailor-made education for students, because all people are different. When we try to generalize them to use the lowest common denominator, we lose a lot of high quality. So I'm a great believer in AI, that using this technology, education will be made much better, much more individual, tailor-made, with better output. Secondly, corruption-free education, because unfortunately, when I was a student, corruption was rampant, and it kills motivation and trust into academia. We have to eliminate this as much as we can on all levels, not only universities, but in the state as well. And thirdly, I kind of lost my thought, so let's keep it at 2. Thank you. We have stringent moderation. That's why I'm here. So my dream is that schools would have entrepreneurship as a subject to try them, so school enterprises. If I saw something like that at school, I would not waste those years. Second dream, I want Ukrainians to pass some kind of critical thinking test before they get the voting right during elections, and being elected as well. That's an important, because if it's people who choose, and with Prometheus we make a public course on critical thinking. We haven't launched it yet, but we want to translate Ukrainian, American training course. That will be a 1 hour investment in fighting populism and all those challenges that we and other countries have. But we have to be smart and cunning. Third dream, I would like it to be fashionable to be smart, so that people would be ready to to apply themselves for a long time, so that this long application would be fashionable, not hype that you work for only 1 month. People are not ready to play the long game. Because we invested companies, we want more companies, so we have ambitious, and we provided a course how to create businesses for managers. There's 38 lessons. To see those videos, you have to look through 50 hours of videos, 60 hours of audio book, and some 60 hours of homework, and plus 40 hours of diploma work. And we split it in 2 years. So for our managers, 70 enrolled in the first group, now only 2 others enrolled, but they're still working. I'm not sure. I'm doing it not the way like you do with. So methodology is to teach them in places of long run. So it should be fashionable to be smart and to be able to work for a long time. Anna, we're running out of time, but dreams always require some more time. My first dream that our estate would deliver on its function of a service. Because, just a small example, we can't employ every third student because they have their problems with health, and our norms in terms of application of regulations, the work safety. Like you go to a gym, you have a hernia because you picked up too much iron, and we no longer can hire you because you're no longer matching our standards. And the standards were designed, if I remember, in the year 1952 or 3. First dream. The second dream is that even in technical high school, we should keep their values and humanitarian attitude. So skills and skill sets, business can provide that, can teach that. But for people to be able to dream, to expand their horizon, to what makes us humans with certain values, that's no technology can replace that. If that falls out, it's just it disables them from thinking deep enough in the futures. And thirdly, I want my students to have 3 skill sets: mental health and self-awareness, physical health, and thirdly, financial literacy. Because if people come to us, they don't know how to spend money, how to earn money, it's hard. Thank you. So great dreams. I remembered one more idea. I remember what I wanted to say, but it's about motivation. I dream the educational facilities would have highly motivated professional teachers, because nothing can demotivate a student like a bad teacher, and nothing can motivate a student better than a great teacher, even if it's a low talent student, and that you can nurture into a genius. And we need more such teachers who can do that. Alexei, now your dreams. Alexander stole my dream. Let me add a little bit to it. I'll just say 3 things. I like the application, Mria, but I'm a firm believer that AI will never replace human beings. We need great human teachers in schools in order to have great students and great people. I've had a lot of interviews with people, and whenever I ask about their school education, they say, I loved chemistry, I loved economy because I had a great teacher who made it interesting. And so there should be a certain inspiration is only human being can provide. And AI can add to it as a tool. I think our foundation as people in society begins with school. So I dream to have in school such an environment that strong people would like to go work as teachers in schools, in order to build great professional environments so that we have more educated, great people that will change the country for the better. So we've heard a lot of dreams. It sounds like a to-do list, and that's great. I'm going to use my minute to express my dream now. We talked tonight to political partners abroad with a plea to provide us weapons, to provide us funding, but our end goal is not the politics, the politicians who exist, but the voters, like a regular Finnish or French or English person knows what Ukraine is, why Ukraine is having this existential fight for the values of entire Europe. We need not only technical things so that the voters vote actual politicians who help Ukraine. We need to great history, psychology, sociology, everything that makes us people and citizens. I totally share your dreams. I would like to be part of the implementation, but please, all of you, all the businesses and technical specialties universities, don't forget about humanistic and humanitarian part of the work. We are citizens, and that's what most important. Universities are there to build citizens, and that's my dream, to universities to be environment where great professional citizens. So we thank the union for getting us together. I'm very thankful to our speakers. You know, I'm not a technical person, but I hope I delivered my humanitarian message. So I wish a success.